Good morning. Today is Sunday, the 21st day of Iyar. Last night we counted 36 days of the Omer. Today is also my birthday, a Hebrew birthday that is. And the Rebbe says that on a day of a birthday, a person should get together with people and take upon ourselves good resolutions, something that everyone should do on their birthday. And as the Rebbe explains that on the day of a birthday is Mazole Goiver, the Mazel, the Neshama, the source of the soul, gets more strength, that Hashem gives us again the strength to fulfill our mission in this world. So therefore you want to use out this opportunity to wish you all, give you all the brachas, everything what you all need. You, those who listen on YouTube or on Facebook or everywhere else, Hashem should bless you with everything what you need, both physically, materially, and spiritually, of course, in every way possible. So today we finish the chapter 49. And the Alter Rebbe gives us the explanation about the love that we are able to develop in our heart to God, to the point that we get excited with our connection with God. And the question is, now what? I'm excited. I feel the love to Hashem. What do I do with that? So again, being that today is Sunday, or yesterday we didn't learn yet. We didn't record yesterday, Shabbos. So we're gonna say the lesson of Shabbos yesterday, then the lesson of today. So as you remember, we spoke about the blessings before the Shema. Now the blessings before the Shema are not like any other blessings for mitzvah. As we know that every mitzvah, before you do the mitzvah, you say a blessing, and yet the blessings of the Shema seemingly has nothing to do with the mitzvah of the Shema. Shema Yisrael is about dedicating yourself to Hashem, and the blessing of Shema doesn't talk about preparing for that mitzvah. And Alter Rebbe explains that yes, indeed, it has very much to do with this. And the two blessings we say before Shema is a preparation. It prepares us to get the feeling of the love to Hashem, like we say b'Shema, v'ahavta Hashem alekecha. And how is that? This is because kamayim apanim lapanim, the nature of a human being is that when you feel someone does something to you, you feel love from someone, and especially when you feel that the person that shows you love sacrifices from him for you, and especially if that person is in a much, much, much higher level than you are, like a king coming and elevating a person from the lowest of the places and connecting with them and hugging them and kissing them. And when a person shows so much love, it is by nature that a person would want to reciprocate. So the same thing when you meditate about the greatness of Hashem, how Hashem is so lofty, and he explained in the previous chapter how the different levels what Hashem needs to do in order to come to us, and what Hashem elevated us. And he, from the depth of Egypt, and he connected us with the Torah, that is the ultimate connection with Hashem. Within mitzvahs, he gives us the opportunity to hug us and to kiss us and so on. So when you think about this brings you the feeling of reciprocity, that you love Hashem back. So in the blessings of the Shema, we also talk about the great levels of the angels, how the angels, that they are in such a high level, and they feel completely nullified to Hashem, and they're asking, where is Hayei Mekom Kavodo? Where is the place of his glory? And they say, Melo kol haaretz kavod. They try to reach the connection with Hashem, and they realize that Hashem is down here with us humans, through us humans, through the people that can follow the way of Hashem, to study the Torah, and we do the mitzvahs. Hashem is right here in this place. And then in the second blessing, we say, Avas Olam Ahavtonu, Hashem loved us, a love of the world, meaning Hashem condensed his light and he didn't go where the angels are, where the higher spiritual levels. That's not where his place is. The place is us, Abbas Olam, the world of the love of the world. That Hashem has the compassion on us much more than what he does in the angels. And Hashem chose us from all of the nations, and he gave us the ability to connect. So all of this leads to the person really getting excited and feeling this is what Hashem does to us. What do I do for Hashem? I love him back, of course. And yet the question is, what's next? So I love him. So what do I do about it? You know, you feel love to another person and you want to express this love somehow. So let's see inside and we get the answer. Says the Alter Rebbe, Kasher Yosim Amaskil Eila Advorim El Unka de Liebe Umecha. Azai Mimela Kamaim Aponim El Aponim. When the thinking person will reflect on these matters in the depth of his heart and brain, then as surely as water mirrors the image of face, the same way the heart of a person feels a heart, and the person therefore will reciprocate and feel the same feeling of love. As the Alter Rebbe says, Tislahit nafshoy vesislabeish beruach nediva. His soul will spontaneously be kindled with love for God, and will clothe itself in a spirit of benevolence. Benevolence to give away, to give to Hashem, after realizing what Hashem gives to us, what Hashem, the length that Hashem goes to connect to us here in this low world. So leisnadei v'laniach v'lazoiv kol asher lo mineged. So willingly to lay down and resolutely to abandon all he possesses. V'rak ledovka bo yizborich. V'likole be'oiroi b'dveika v'chasheika v'chulu. So in order only to cleave unto him and to be absorbed into his light with an attachment and longing and so forth. B'bchinas neshikim, in a manner of kissing. V'izdapkus rucho berucho kaniska la'el, and with attachment of spirit, the spirit has been explained earlier. Because the kissing Hashem, what is the kissing? When you kiss someone, it's not just the physical act of the kissing, it is what's behind. It's what this kissing communicates. There's a deeper feeling, the inner spirit that connects two people when they kiss. So when we do it with Hashem, when we feel the love of Hashem, and now what you want to do, you want to bring this in kissing and to connect the spirit, our spirit with Hashem's spirit. And how do we do this? How do we connect with Hashem's spirit? So the Alter Rebbe, this is exactly what the verse in the Shema says. When we say, Ve'ahavta et Hashem eleikecha, you love God, your God, b'chol levavcha, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And we explained in last lesson that you give up everything to Hashem. The love that you have to the wife, to the children. And we explained, of course, it doesn't mean that you neglect, God forbid, the wife and children, because the Torah says on the contrary, loving them is important and taking care of them is the most important thing. But your personal desires, your personal satisfaction in having, because God created this as part of our nature, to love our spouses, to love our children, and a person can be distracted by this in a way, thinking and fooling himself, thinking, yes, I'm doing a mitzvah, I'm taking care of my wife now, but really he means himself. And when that's done that way, that doesn't help to the relationship either. But when you connect to Hashem and you realize that you do not allow any of this self desires, even if it's desires of being with the children, you don't let it to distract you from doing the right thing, from praying, from studying Torah. And when you do this, that is the giving everything. You're connected, you become so much in love, you want to give everything with Hashem. And that's what the pasuk says. After it says that you give everything away, it says, V'hayu advarim ha'ileh al levavcha v'dibarta bam. Those words, that words of the Torah, they should be on your heart, and you should speak to them. You should speak these words. Studying the words of Torah, this is the kissing. That's what Alter Rebbe says. But how does the attachment of spirit to spirit take place? To this end, it is stated soon after the phrase, with all your heart, and so on, the Torah says, and these words shall be upon your heart, and you shall speak of them. So this will soon explain that this refers to immersing oneself in this Torah, in the study of Torah, and speaking the words of Torah. So there is the studying the Torah, which is understanding the Torah, and there's also the speaking the words of the Torah. That's, as the Alter Rebbe explained, was also very important. As it is written, explained in Eitz Chaim, sheyichud aneshikim ikaroi uyichud Chabad b'Chabad, Chachma bin Hadas b'Chachma bin Hadas v'hu iyun Torah. And Eitz Chaim explains what is the union of kissing. The union of kissing, which incorporates the union of spirit to spirit, the attachment of spirit to spirit. He says this is essentially the union of Chabad, the wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. The union of men's Chachma bin Hadas with the Chachma bin Hadas of Hashem. And that is concentration in the Torah. When you study Torah and you comprehend, you focus, and you have your mind connected with Hashem, with Hashem's Torah, being that this is God's wisdom, that is the spirit that connects to the spirit. But then the question, why do we have to utter it? You know, this is something that you see in Jewish practice that you don't see it anywhere else. You go into a library, people study. Do they move their lips when they study? They say silently and they read. But in the yeshiva, you go into yeshiva, people study. They work with words. You can sit on the trains, and you'll see people open a book, and they study with, and the mouth is moving, because uttering the words is important. The question is why. So there's a lot of different explanations why we do this. What benefit when you say, but here the Alter Rebbe is going to tell us the deeper meaning of the moving the lips. So he says, well, the mouth as the outlet of the breath and its emergence into a revealed state. This represents a category of speech engaged in words of Torah. And that this is the end of the Shir of Shabbos yesterday, and we're going to now continue the Shir of today, the Shir of Sunday. And Alter Rebbe explains, Ki al moitza pi Hashem yichya adam, because by the word that God proceeds from God's mouth, by the words that proceeds from God's mouth, does man live, and therefore it is important to have it uttered. Why? As the Alter Rebbe is going to explain now. Because yes, it's true that when you think about the words of the Torah, you have this connection. You have that special connection by thinking and meditating, understanding this is your spirit with Hashem's spirit. But really, there is a much deeper purpose that Hashem wants. Hashem wants that His light should be penetrated in every aspect of this world. And therefore, when you do it in a physical sense, not just in the thinking, but you utter the words with your mouth, you are thereby bringing the words of Torah into the physical aspects, because in order for your mouth to move, you need to use your physical body. The physical body obviously is nourished by physical food, which comes from the inanimate objects, from the vegetations, from the animal life, living world. This is something that all of this now becomes included into the words of Torah when you speak the words of Hashem, the words of Torah. Continues the Alter Rebbe, however, one does not fulfill one's obligation by meditation and deliberation alone, unless one expresses the words with his lips. And this is in order to draw the infinite light of the blessed Ein Sof downward, even unto the vivifying soul, which dwells in the blood of the man. Which in turn is produced by the intake of food from the mineral, vegetable, and animal worlds. And thereby, when you study Torah with this energy, you elevate all of the entire world and all of the aspects of this world. One thereby elevates them all, the vivifying soul and the mineral, vegetable, and animal worlds to God, together with the entire universe. And cause them to be absorbed into the blessed unity and light, which will illuminate the world and its inhabitants in a revealed manner. And as it says, V'nigla kvoid Hashem v'rou kol basa v'chulu. It says in the verse, it says, and the glory of God shall be revealed, so much so, indeed, that all flesh shall see. Because this is the purpose of the progressive descent of all of the worlds, as we explained in the previous chapters. All the spiritual worlds, there is like a chain-like descent. One leads to another, to a lower that is more and more contracted, the light of Hashem. And what is the purpose of all of this chain-like descent, the progressive descent of the worlds? Liyes kvoid Hashem mole kol haaretz ala zu davke, b'bchinas gilui. That the glory of God may pervade this physical world, especially, and in a revealed manner. Lehapche, chasheche, lenehoire, umerire, lemiska, kaniska leil barichas. And this is in order to change the darkness of the kalipas, or the shells, those who conceal godliness, into the light of the holiness, and the bitterness of the world, whose life force is from the kalipas noiga, which is the shell, the neutral shell, which is the kosher permissible thing that can be used either way, in a good way or a bad way. And when you use it in a good way, it elevates it and sweetens it into sweetness of goodness and holiness, as has been explained above, as has been explained above in chapter 36 at length. And this is the essence of the intent of man's service, to draw down the infinite light of the blessed Ein Sof below. But in order to do this, in order to be able to achieve that, drawing down that light of Hashem down here, it needs to be initiation from the person below. Just like in a relationship, when there is initiation, a desire from the recipient, that creates a desire in the giver. When there is a desire from us down here below to bring about, to connect to Hashem, and there is a strong desire here, that creates a bigger, deeper giving from Hashem, and it brings down the light from Hashem down here in this world. This is the Alter Rebbe Rak shetzorich tchilo alos mayim nukvim. However, the initiative must come through the elevation of mayim nukvim. Mayim nukvim means female waters. This is the Kabbalistic terminology, signifies the arousal and the elevation of the female, meaning the recipient. Surrendering to him one's soul and one's all has been explained above. In order for godliness to be properly drawn down through the Torah and mitzvahs, it is first necessary that there be an elevation of mayim nukvim, the feminine waters, which means that emanating, this is the arousal that is emanating from man's love to God, to the degree that he's ready to forego everything for his sake. When you have that feeling, that emotion, that deep emotion, this creates an opening above to give much, much greater light. With this, the Alter Rebbe concludes the theme beginning in chapter 46 regarding the love likened to water mirroring the image of a face. That's what we explained earlier. That when you feel what Hashem does to you, that creates the image, reflects the feeling towards Hashem. And when you have this excitement of love and you ask, what now? Now we have to hug and kiss, to connect deeper. And that is through the learning of the Torah. And that is why it says that right after davening, when you pray, the whole idea of the prayer is something which elevates you. A prayer is about climbing up the ladder with a feeling of emotion, connecting to Hashem in many different levels. But right after davening, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to sit down and study Torah, to bring it down. And when we study Torah, you do it by uttering it also with the mouth, not just reading Torah, but saying it. And then you continue this with the rest of your day, with the business, that's what you do, whatever you do, you work, you teach, whatever you do, it brings that excitement and that connection with Hashem in a way that it affects your entire day, and in a way that affects the entire world. So thank you for joining. We'll continue with Hashem tomorrow.